guys, Joe Harper with Reformed Truther Ministries here. We're on our way up to Ely, Minnesota, looking for Sasquatch. This is going to be a good video today. We're going to be doing some night hiking. We're going to be doing some day hiking. We're going to be looking for footprints. We're going to be looking for tree structures, the whole 9 yards. So Ely, Minnesota, this is about 4 hours north of the Twin Cities. And this is a location that our ministry has not yet gone to. So we are going into uncharted territory today, and we are going to be making some strides to really be doing some good research. So let's see what we find today. Let's see if we can finally really break the door down and find some evidence for Sasquatch here today. Let's go. All right, guys, so we've made it to Ely, Minnesota. We are hiking some of the trails surrounding the town. We're going to be doing some of this here in the evening, and we're going to be doing some of this tomorrow, the following morning, splitting this hiking up. Because as we've been learning more and more about Sasquatch, as we've been doing this research over the past 2 years, we're trying to take what we're learning from the books, from the internet, from the research, from the library, and we're trying to incorporate that more and more into how we do work out here in the field. And one of the things that we've learned is that Sasquatch is, according to many of the most credible researchers, is primarily nocturnal. So therefore, you got to go where the fish are to catch fish. So we are out here in the evening time because of the fact that we know that there's going to be more potentially to see in the evening. Even though that may seem more high risk, it also may have a higher payoff. So it's about 8 p.m. here. I don't know how late exactly we're going to stay out. It's August, so you know that it probably will be another hour before it's fully dark at least. But we're going to just kind of do some hiking out here. We're going to look for footprints. We're going to look for tree structures. We're going to look for evidence, and obviously we're going to look for sightings. And then whatever we get done tonight, we're going to take that, assess it, and then follow up with more hiking tomorrow morning as we research this entire area. So we'll go from there. All right, guys, we've seen this before, but let's review. So you see how these branches here are bending like this? Then you have all of this really weaved together the way this is. These are the type of things where when you're looking at tree structures, you want to look to see if it's something that could have happened organically from falling trees, deadfall, or something that is much more impossible to come from that end. And as you look here, that one's a snap. It's weaved in under there, bend here, weaved here, more over there. This is the type of stuff we're looking for. Some of this stuff you'll never completely convince the skeptics, but those who are tracking with me, they see what I'm talking about. More there, more there. This one weaves up there. In my opinion, I would say Trying to be as objective as possible. I would say these are pretty credible. This is better than anything we saw in Itasca a few months back. Well, we made it down by the river here, and so we've already seen some tree structures. Definitely been an intriguing start. I'm going to keep working my way down this way to finish out the night, but then after that we'll see what we find tomorrow morning. But I feel like coming to this section of the Superior National Forest, we were here last year much closer to Lake Superior, but now we're further north and further west, so kind of coming into the forest from a different side. And I think being further up, further north, further west, we're much closer to the Canadian border this time around. I think we're in a territory that all of my research has indicated that we are in a Sasquatch hotspot. I've read incident reports of sightings in this very area where I'm at right now. I think this is a promising place. I'm really excited to see what else we find before the end of this trip. All right, guys, we're back here on the morning of day 2 of our Ely expedition looking for Sasquatch. We got a relatively early start this morning, trying to get out, see what's going on before, you know, the day gets away from us. And as you can probably see, the skies above me are pretty cloudy. It rained pretty heavily here last night, and that is something that may be advantageous to us. It might not be. We're going to find out, because theoretically, if Sasquatch had been walking and there had been recent footprints, maybe the wet weather, because there's going to be mud, you could potentially find some very fresh footprints. So that could potentially be a good thing. Now, obviously, if there had been footprints before and then the rains come, obviously evidence could get washed away too. But I actually take it more as a positive than as a negative. It's lightly raining right now. I think the heaviest storms pushed through. It's kind of spooky almost last night how the storms were pretty intense, and they really pushed through, and you could read into that more than you did. But it was kind of an interesting evening, and so we'll see what the morning has in store. But I'm excited to explore more of these trails in the area around Ely, Minnesota, as we continue to look for evidence for Sasquatch. All right, guys, we got another tree structure here. This is on the morning hike, very similar to what we saw last night. As you see, we got more bends here, overlap here. There's more over there. I'll try walking that way in just a sec. But usually when I see this type of bending, I try to remain somewhat cautious in my assessment. But some of this stuff, when it's weaving or bending like that, that's what's saying to me, okay, this probably didn't happen naturally by a tree falling over. I'm gonna walk this way. And over here, sometimes it may look like, you know, someone may say, okay, this fell over, what have you. But when they're bent or they're placed or anything like that, and then you see the weave and the overlap all there, that's kind of the type of stuff that really gets you wondering. Now, I get it that, you know, things can get tangled, but some of this stuff is a little too intentional to just write off. All right, guys, we made it to what is Bass Lake. This is what is called Bass Lake Trail in Ely, Minnesota, and this is Bass Lake here behind me. And as you see, I'll show you the full panorama here in a second, but this is an absolutely outstanding view. As I've been hiking in some of the trails in this area, definitely some potential tree structures. I would say what I saw last night was by far the most convincing. Some of the stuff today was a little bit more, maybe not. Try to remain objective, trying not to jump at everything you see necessarily. But definitely, this is one thing I will say, is this is the area where there has been a ton of sightings. This is an area where there's been a lot of reports, everything that I've read about the Superior National Forest, that this is a spot where they're at. So we are right in the heart of where we're supposed to be. So we're going to explore a little bit more. But we'll just see if there's anything else we find. So let's keep going. All right, guys, so this brings the end to our expedition here in Ely, Minnesota. We've definitely seen a lot of really great stuff. We've definitely seen what I think are some convincing tree structures. I think we've identified that this is an area that we want to return to. If people who have been watching my videos throughout the course of this year remember that I said that these trips are to find locations that seem promising to figure out where we're going to be coming back to at future dates. So this isn't just about finding evidence, even though we want that. It's about figuring out where to focus our efforts over the long term. So I would say that the Superior National Forest, Ely, Minnesota, has probably been the most encouraging point I've been. I enjoyed Itasca. I enjoyed going to Detroit Lakes, but I think coming this direction has been the most promising we have seen so far. So we're definitely going to be coming back to the Superior National Forest again. And I like how last year when we came to the Superior National Forest, we were much closer to Lake Superior, kind of up in the Grand Marais, Minnesota region. But here, coming up to Ely, coming further north and west, coming into the forest from a different direction, so to speak, I think that has been really promising. So I think we've laid a lot of groundwork for better research in the future, and I think we have a good game plan for moving forward. So that being said, that this is going to be this installment of Reformed Truther Ministries. So this is Joe Harper. God bless everybody.
If you enjoyed this video, then please consider supporting our ministry through Buy Me a Coffee. And check out our website at www.reformedtruther.com.